Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of visionary entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Phyllis Pieri, the founder of Your Franchise Coaching. Phyllis brings over 30 years of franchising experience, including owning franchises like Sir Speedy Printing and earning the prestigious Certified Franchise Executive designation. Based in Irvine, California, Your Franchise Coach, founded to guide aspiring entrepreneurs, offers free coaching to match individuals with the perfect franchise, transforming lives across industries like medical, kids, and home services. We'll be exploring her founding story, how her business empowers clients to achieve financial freedom, and her vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Phyllis, welcome to Founders Future.
Hi, Joe. Great to see you. So happy to be here.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today. So really would love to start at the top for our listeners here. Phyllis, if you could take us back to the beginning and really talk about what specific problem in the franchising landscape really inspired you to start Your Franchise Coach.
Oh, that's a really funny story. I actually started my career in franchising a very long time ago. And I started actually by being hired by the company to go help them with a trade show that was coming up. So I went to the office to help them get ready for the trade show. Then they asked me to help work at the trade show. And then on that following Monday, the senior executive came out to me because they asked me to come back and he went, "Hey, Phyllis." He brought me this stack of blue cards and he said, "Phyllis, can you call these people and book appointments?" I went, "Sure."
Yeah.
Joe, one of the things that I've realized when I look back on my career is that I've always been willing to say yes, because you never know what's going to be behind that door. And so I have always been one of those that says yes, and I've had that willingness to try new things. Guess what? That company was Sir Speedy Corporate. And so fast forward a couple of years, I ended up buying a Sir Speedy in downtown San Francisco. At that time, Sir Speedy was headquartered in Newport Beach, California. And if any of your viewers or listeners have knew the founding part of Sir Speedy Printing, Jim Merriam was the president at the time, and his big thing was the bright color of yellow. So their sign was bright yellow with a black running man on it. His theory was, and remember, this is before digital, that if you sent somebody an envelope in a bright yellow envelope, it was going to stand out amongst all the other ones. So that's how it started. I fell in love with the business. As a matter of fact, I think I'll always have ink in my blood because it's sales, marketing, being creative is very much a core of who I am. Anyway, so we spent 3 great years at the Sir Speedy business. We sold it. We spent 10 years in automotive. And then I found myself at a crossroads because I became single. I had 2 small children, and it was like, what's next?
Yeah.
I did a few different things. I helped franchises get started because I worked with Irv Coip, who was a amazing, wonderful franchise attorney in Newport Beach, California. And I had gone to a networking event and I was in the breakfast line and I look up and I see this sign, Sir Speedy, and it was Don Lowe, who was the president, and it's a long story, but Don and I have known each other for a long time. And I looked at him and I said, "Are the Camps still part of or still in your top 10? He looked at me like I had 2 heads. He said, "How do you know that name?" I said, "Because I used to be a Sir Speedy owner and I remember them because they were in your top 10 then." Fast forward, I get a call from his sales department and they hired me to come sell franchises for them. And it was funny because when Don interviewed me, he said, "What makes you think you can sell our franchises?" I said, "Oh, that's easy. I love your business model." So he said, "Okay, you're hired." So what I take from all of that is that I grew up in the franchise space, but more importantly, I was there and saw the way that they supported their franchise owners. I saw the care that they had for them. And I knew that no matter what, if I was in the franchise space, and I introduced somebody to a franchise, that I knew they'd be successful if they followed the system. So that has been my main passion and desire is knowing that if people wanted to be self-employed, which I've always pretty much been self-employed, that being in a franchise is the best way for them to go if they find the right one.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I definitely would love to get into the nuts and bolts with you here, Phyllis. Obviously, been doing this for so long now and just so much success in your career. So, really walk us through how your franchise coach is operating today, as far as that core offer, what you
Mhm.
are offering for your clients, how it's structured for your clients, and who's the ideal client that you work with on these types of offers.
Okay, great question. So first of all, it's important for you to understand that when people think about franchising, what I do know after all these years, when they think franchising, they think food. The main reason they think food is because that's what they see, right? So 9 times out of 10, when somebody comes to me and I find people through referrals, through portals that I may advertise on, whatever, when they come to me, they usually will have an idea of what they want. And when I take them through the process of asking them a lot of questions, figuring out what is it you really love? What kind of employees do you want to have? How many employees do you want to have? And it's funny because sometimes they'll say, I don't care. I want you to care. And let me tell you why. And so I will always tell them a story about a gentleman that I placed in a franchise many years ago. And he was, can, oh, can we pause this for a second? All right. Okay. So when it comes to employees, so many times somebody will say to me, oh, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. And I always explain to them it's really important that they do matter. Because I had a client one time who I placed in a very large franchise. He had several territories. And about 5 years after he started, he called me up and he said, Phyllis, I want to sell my franchise. I was shocked because he was really growing. So we went and had lunch. And I said to him, why do you want to sell your business? He said, I realize I'm a suit and tie kind of guy, and I just can't relate like I want to with blue collar people. It was a great lesson for me to learn because what we discovered is that, and I've often said to people, sometimes it's more important what you don't like than it is what you do, because a lot of times you don't know. And so if I don't ask you those questions, as I learned later on, then you might get into something that's not the right fit for you. That's why when people are looking for a franchise, they come to the idea of getting a franchise with a preconceived notion of what they think it's going to be like. And what I love about what I do is I'm not selling you anything. I really am getting to know you. What do you like? What are you excited about? What kind of income goals do you have? I can't guarantee anything. I need to know what you're looking for. I'm able to open their eyes to possibilities that they don't even know exist.
Yeah.
So that's one of the joys of what I do today.
Incredible. Phyllis, I would love to know from your perspective now. I mean, you've been in the space for 30 years now, franchising and seeing success. Is this something that you're looking to continuously scale and grow, or now you're at the point where you're comfortable with the clientele, you know how many you want to work with, and you're comfortable with where you are now? What does that look like in your mind right now on that side of things?
So, so that's a really good question. And obviously, I'm older. And so my business is not shifting. I'm a grandmother now. I have two little grandbabies. They're very important to me. As a matter of fact, I just moved to Texas so that I could be close to my grandchildren. So that's just who I am as a person. But what I will tell you is that I have created a course. And the reason I created a course is because one of the things that I know is that a lot of people, number one, don't really understand franchising. Number two, a lot of times they may not be ready, but when they are ready, I want them to go in feeling confident and prepared. And so this course will help them to really understand what the whole process is about, what franchising really is about, to help them get their finances in order so that when they say, yes, I'm really ready to find that perfect match, then they have another tool besides the book that I published that will help them along the way to really make sure they're making that right choice.
I love it. I love it. So is that a big focus of yours now, is pushing a lot more clients towards that course and really building
Yes.
a community around it to have more scale on that side, but not doing so much on more of the clientele side. You can still focus on
Yes.
your clients. I love that.
Yes, that is going to be what I want to focus on because There's not enough women. We have a lot of women in our industry and it's growing, but there's not enough. And I think it's because they don't understand.
Yes.
They don't understand that just because it's a franchise doesn't mean it has to be expensive.
Yeah.
I've watched since COVID, I've watched so many women messing around with little businesses that they're trying to create. And I look at them and I think, look, you just would come talk to me and we looked at franchising. I bet I would find you something that at the end of the day, by the time you pay for the coaches and the courses and all the different stuff that they buy, end up with a great franchise. And they go into it knowing for sure that they can be successful if they follow the process.
Absolutely. So with that there, I would definitely love to know, since that is more of the focus now, what's working best for you on attracting new leads and clients into the course? Do you have ads that you're running for that? What's working? What channels are most effective to get that traction?
Facebook ads obviously are a great direction to go. I'm going to be doing some webinars coming up. I've got some webinars that I'm going to schedule, and I'm going to bring people in starting with a vision board so that they think about where they want to start and then launch from there. And then local events are always good. As a matter of fact, I'm really active in with ChatGPT. I'm
Yeah.
getting AI certified because I just love it. And one of the things that I love about chat is that English has never been my strong suit, and yet I've wrote a book. But now I have the freedom to be able to come up with ideas and know that it's written properly and it sounds better than anything I would write.
Yeah.
And yet I'm able to articulate things more today than I was ever able to before.
Absolutely incredible. So, with that, what can you say is more of a bottleneck that you're thinking about right now, Phyllis? Is there anything that you're thinking about on that front, especially with your focus now being more on the courses, or are you really loving how things are operating for you right now?
I would say trying to decide, since I'm new to Texas, trying to decide which direction I want to go from a local marketing standpoint. As a matter, I'm looking at different chambers and so forth. So really zeroing in on the right groups to join, because since I'm going from just franchising, but helping to more educate and bring them into franchising as an exploratory, I can now get into some of those women's groups that I wasn't looking at before because I have a different offer for them.
Yes.
That's a stepping stone into what could be a great future for them.
I absolutely love that. Talk about the rest of this year for us. Paint us that picture, Phyllis. What are you really laser focused on for that continued success and that focus on the course? What does the rest of the year look like for you?
So the rest of the year is to continue on with getting certified in AI because I'll be able to offer that not only for my own, I can use that for my own content creation and so forth, but also to help other people do the same. It's also going to be a matter of continuing on with the mastermind that I'm involved in, which actually has people from all over the world, which I find really inspiring. The other thing that I'm going to be focusing on is helping people that have a unique business model turn it into a franchise, because that's another area that I really want to focus on. I've had success in that area before, and I'm excited to talk to other people about what business model they have already created and how can they grow it from being a single unit or maybe two mobile trucks to take it all over the country. And I have a whole package that I can offer people that gives them soup to nuts, everything they need to take that business and make it successful.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I have one more question for you on this
Sure.
from here before going into the lightning round. And that's just going to be for the franchising industry as a whole, especially with someone that has as much experience as you do, Phyllis. Where do you see the franchising industry evolving in the coming years here moving forward, especially with trends like the technology driven or lifestyle franchises? What do you see happening there? And how do you position yourself to take advantage of that?
You know what? Times are just getting better. Our trend is definitely going up. One of the things I've always loved about franchising is that if people need to understand that the goal of the franchisor is to do everything they can to make you successful. And
Mm,
in doing that, they are utilizing AI and they're utilizing new marketing trends and everything because it behooves them to do everything they can to help. So when somebody is wondering, oh, gee, are robots going to take over? Well, yeah,
mm.
robots are going to take care of some of the mundane stuff that you don't want to do anyway. And a good franchise company is going to continue to look for different ways that they can help you be successful, be more efficient, operate better, and make more money.
Love
Because if they win, you win, everybody wins.
love it. I love it. So with that, I want to take us into the lightning round here, Phyllis. And on that side, I would love to know about one tool or resource, whether it's a franchising insight, a coaching strategy, an AI tool that you're using. What's been the biggest game changer for you so far in your franchise coach and now building the course out?
I'd have to say AI. I'd have to say working with custom GPTs and using the research and everything that's available for me to get insight on how to make things run better and to have my content have more substance to it and to be more personalized as opposed to it's not just about the business model, it's about feelings and all of those type of things too.
I love that. And then last, certainly not least here, Phyllis, what is the best piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners tuning in right now? Just heard your incredible journey and your story and the successes that you've had. What can you leave them with before we wrap up the show today?
I'm gonna end it with a story. When I first started selling franchises for Sir Speedy, I went to the first convention. And when I went there, I was all excited to go to the $1 million round table. And I wanted to fill out the card and I wanted to know what was the secret to why this company was so successful. Why is your center doing so much better than the others? And how did you make that $1 million? What is your secret? And I'll never forget it because the lady looked at me and she said, it may sound trite, but I follow the system because the system works.
Hmm.
I didn't know seriously, what is the secret? She said, no, it's simple. Follow the system works. And that's what I want to leave people with because that's the beauty of franchising. You're walking into a business model that I'm going to make sure you get all of your questions answered. You're not going to wonder whether you're going to make money. You know that if you follow the system, now they can't guarantee you're going to get out of bed, but if you follow the system, you have every reason to be in that top 10. It's up to you.
I love it. I love it. So, with that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Phyllis, just want to thank you so much for coming on the show
Thank
and
you.
sharing your incredible journey and your insights with us today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And also check out Your Franchise Coach at yourfranchisecoach.com for their free franchise coaching services. And follow Phyllis on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Phyllis Pieri. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.